Ah, good evening, and welcome to Having a Drink with Mink. I'm just getting caught up on a little reading here. This is IDW's Artist Edition of Charles Schulz's Peanuts. Now, these are photographs of the original strips, and while they appear to be in black and white, they're actually full color reproductions of the art as it exists today. Surprisingly, Charles Schulz worked on an even larger scale than this. I suppose he just painted these on the side of a barn and called it good. With 2 strips per page, the book contains selections from the first 10 years of the Peanuts run, which is excellent, as that's some of my favorite material. And check out this beautiful presentation. Very, very nice. And I suppose when I'm done with it, I'll iron some clothes. Something like that. Hey, welcome to Having a Drink with Mink. Like I said, this is a very special episode. What's so special about it, you might be asking? Well, turns out it's our 1,000 subscribers special. Oh yeah, that's right. And just in time for my 52nd birthday. As you can see, Larry has got us a nice cake here. It's a little small. The economy isn't what it used to be. We don't have the budget. But, he said since I was the only one eating it, that should be fine. So, cheers to you. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to all of the new subscribers who were tuning in perhaps for the first time. And thank you to all of you OGs who have been with us through thick and thin. As you can see, well, there's a crap ton of stuff on the table. So let's get right to it. But first, nothing like that birthday beverage. Okay, right off the bat, I have this fantastic vintage McDonald's placemat. This is a gift from Corey Lashat. Corey's a very cool dude. He loves pop culture and the Archies nearly as much as I do. Perhaps more so, who can say? It's not a competition. But when it comes right down to it, when Corey found out that I was looking for one of these, well, he made it a point to give me not one, but 3. I have one right here. There's one up on the wall. And I gave one to a coworker because he was equally delighted by the presentation. And I mean, look at all you get. This is the double cheeseburger and large fries special. And who's going to vouch for that? Why, no less than Don Adams. Oh yeah, Maxwell Smart himself. Missed it by that much. Then we have Bob Denver here. Gilligan, enjoying some fries. Then Jed! Oh yeah, that's Buddy Ebsen. And then here's a couple of your favorites from Leave It to Beaver. Well, it's not Beaver and his brother, but, Beaver's mom and Eddie Haskell. Well, that's pretty good. And rounding out this dynamo, well, of course, it could only be Grandpa Al Lewis. And that is a tasty-looking double cheeseburger, for sure. So if you're ever back in 1992, well, you might want to get in on this yourself. Like I said, I have one up on the wall. Who knows? Maybe we'll give this one away as a future prize. Stay tuned. Okay, so 3 mans, $5. Oh yeah, we got that. We always got that, don't we? As you can see, Hal Jordan is the feature 3 mans of today. Not only do we have Hal Jordan in his 1999, I believe that was Mattel incarnation, but then we have the 1982 Superpowers version of Hal there with his ring, and along with this super swell Spanish statuette, PVC statuette from the early 1990s. So, got 3 different incarnations of Hal going on here. Now, I picked this guy up at my local comic book shop. Say it with me now. And I gotta say, he is swell. He's not quite Amigo, but he's actually slightly larger scale, and an improvement in some ways on that formula, because unlike Amigo, Hal here has ball-jointed shoulders, which allow him a much greater range of motion, and lets him do his ring thing even more effectively. He's even got a wrist swivel and a little cut right there, and you can get him on all sorts of cool poses. He comes with this base because, as you would expect, it has a tendency to fall over. But that's very nice. I wish he came with a lantern because, well, gosh, that ring only holds its charge for so long, and his hand is articulated as well to hold something. I don't know. So maybe I'll find some nifty keychain or something to stick in his hand. But this guy will look great with my first appearance Batman. If you remember him, Larry, can we get a shot of those guys together? Pretty cool. So maybe I'll track down a Superman, a Wonder Woman, build another little team. Why not? Who doesn't want more plastic in their lives? Speaking of plastic, I like the round kind of plastic. Oh yeah, the kind with little grooves in it. I think they call them records. And I have some records to show you. Very excited to show these off. Always been a big Zappa guy. Ever since my Uncle Bob recorded Billy the Mountain on the back of a Wings cassette for me, ever since finding the first Mothers of Invention album over in a friend's basement, right a couple blocks over that way. And so pleased to add these to the vinyl archive. These are a couple later Mothers albums. This is the Mothers of Invention's Burnt Weenie Sandwich with a fantastic Cal Schenkel collage cover. It's an arresting and intriguing image from Schenkel, a Pennsylvania artist whom Zappa worked with quite a bit in the 1960s. And this contains one of my all-time favorite Mothers tracks, and that would, of course, have to be Little House I Used to Live In. God, it is a tasty little sucker. And then following up on that Zappa thing, here's Uncle Meat, the soundtrack to the film that was never made. And this is another dynamic Cal Schenkel cover. On the back here are the offending perpetrators. If you're in the post office, you'd see pictures very much like these. And not only is this a beautiful gatefold featuring all the lyrics that you're going to want to sing along to at home, but you get this marvelous libretto as well. That's Uncle Meat. And I quite like this because you get some pictures of the mothers back at their peak of their creative powers, and fast and bulbous Don Preston as the monster. So this is some great stuff, a double album on Bizarre. And then we're going to shift things up a little bit. We're going to head on over into fall country. That's right, Marky Smith, one of my all-time favorite performers. This is a compilation of lots of cool fall material, because a lot of those albums, I told you they fell over. A lot of those albums are out of print right now. So this particular label has picked up the baton, and they give us songs like The Classical, Hard Life in the Country, early classics like Psychic Dance Hall, and my favorite, Totally Wired. And I've taken the liberty of opening this up earlier, and it comes with this nice little information sheet telling you other fall albums that you might add to your collection, along with where these songs appeared in the first place. And then the real deal. Dig this. Luden's Cough Drop Red. Oh yeah, it's The Classical, folks. Can't wait to give this one a spin. And then it's Don Caballero's American Dawn, Pittsburgh's own Don Caballero. These guys, math rock pioneers, now legends, and this is their final album, and in my opinion, perhaps their best. What a striking cover. Once you see it, you'll never forget it. And on the back, some other compelling imagery. And not only do you get the albums themselves, but a digital download, which I'll be keeping for myself. Put that right there. And, well, it turns out that in the 1990s, albums were getting longer. Yes, they were. It wasn't just 35, 40 minutes. Turns out American Dawn was 50-odd minutes long. And so to make sure you got all of the little sonic treats that were inherent in that, well, they've split it up over 2 albums. And so you just get a track or 2 on each side, but that's lots of room for the music to breathe. They come in these very nice archival sleeves to keep the records safe. No plastic migration going on with these. Here's side 1 with my all-time favorite track, the Peter Criss Jazz. And like I've always said, if you can't vibe with the Peter Criss Jazz, well, you must be dead. Cheers. Okay. I see Woody's making the scene, looking good in his birthday suit, for sure. Here's something from Doc Covert. That's right. Joe, to his friends, he sent me this ticking package, and I'm going to call upon Stabby Joe to help us get her open. And we're going to see just what's doing on the inside. Oh, yeah. But first, an envelope. Take a look at it. 50. You can still see it in the rearview mirror. It's not just another birthday. It's a badge of honor. Wear it proudly. Happy birthday. Thanks for the videos, man. Joe. Well, thank you, Joe. Truly appreciate it. I am thrilled to know that folks out there are enjoying these videos. I'm going to do my best to keep them coming, working very hard on Comics for Breakfast Season 4. And so what's in the envelope, you might be asking? Well, I know that I'm asking that. Let's see. Right off the bat. Hey, it's the Micronauts Special Edition number 2. Presenting the original classics by Bill Mantlo and Michael Golden. Very nice. Take that. Oh, and it is very minty, for sure. And then, it's some Marvel's greatest comics. His mission, destroy the Fantastic Four. And looks like they're starting with Ben there. Not sure how he's going to get out of that. You know, I always put $1 in those things when I go to the mall, sit down, get a nice massage, and then here's by Ben Betrayed. And, oh yeah, things aren't looking good for the FF. And then here's the attack of the awesome android. Quite a striking Kirby cover, along with the sizzling big action issue. These Marvel reprints are a wonderful way of recapturing the experience of actually enjoying the comics of yore. Unlike a trade paperback, which is, very precise, very bright, very clean, these have a little bit of wiggle room as far as it goes. It's just like colors are a little bit more muted. The inks aren't quite as sharp, the blacks aren't quite as black, and subsequently it gives your imagination a little bit of room to breathe, and so that's why I enjoy them, not to mention, of course, the fantastic ads. Dig this, they're the continuing adventures of Evel Knievel. Well, at least until he gets off that plane with a baseball bat, anyway. But I remember thrilling to these ads as a kid and wanting every single one of these items, even the Scramble van, which, is essentially just a ramp with wheels. But hey, why not? If it had that great big one on it, I was all on board. Okay, so as you can see, we do have some more old comics. Let's get right to those. Starting off with the Avengers, and it's a peril in Pittsburgh. Talking about Pittsburgh just a few moments ago, weren't we? And this is one of the most notable events to happen in the city in, nearly a century when the Avengers showed up and they saved us all. We usually have a parade I always wear my red safari jacket. And then here's a nice Silver Age Batman, and I had to pick this one up because I'm a sucker for Catwoman in these alternate costumes. When they brought her back in the 60s, they weren't quite sure how to handle the character. You know, this may be the first costume that she was reintroduced in. I quite like the second one, which has more of a piratey feel myself. Bit of a Puss in Boots vibe, if you will. But this one, you know, more serpentine, honestly. But I had to have it, absolutely. You'll take Batman to the catacombs over my dead body, Catwoman. Have it your own way, Batgirl. Get a room, you two. And then here's some Betty and Veronica's Christmas Spectacular. That's a fun little gag. Oh, Archie, here's your gift. From me to you. Ronnie's saying, that's one gift I'll gladly exchange for you. Even though what she should be exchanging is these nightmarish stained glass pants that she's wearing. Dear God. That is an offense on many levels. Get the War Crimes Tribunal on the phone. Here's a nice tidy episode of The Champions. This is number 17. I've been building the Champs run. This is an easy run to build because the title only ran for 20-odd issues. And while I might have this, I know it's an upgrade. This is the Champs against the Sentinels and the Champions' Last Stand. Who saw that coming? And then here's some Captain America and the Falcon. And what kid could possibly say no to this cover, especially when you have a good guy fighting two other good guys? And then here's a nice early issue of Conan the Barbarian. This is number 37. This is after Barry Windsor Smith had left the book, but before it had really gotten going under John Buscema. But when I saw this, I knew that I simply had to sign on for The Curse of the Golden Skull. And then we're going to jump right to 100. And here's another very tidy book. This is pretty sweet. It's the dynamic double-sized issue, Death on the Black Coast, where we see the last of Conan's love, Belit. And, while these outfits are always, character appropriate, I gotta figure that thing is itchy as hell. Death would be a relief. And then here's 101, following up on that, The Devil Has Many Eggs. Oh, wait. There's an L. I misread that. The Devil Has Many Eels. And check out this very unfortunate looking spider here, colored much in the way you would color a great big fat pig. Far too porcine for an arachnid if you ask me, but I guess it's a change of pace from your typical purple. And then here's Conan number 103, A Night of the Vampire. And dig this crossed out UPC code. What does that mean, folks? Let me know in the comment section below. And then here's a couple comics that I just had to pick up. I don't really know anything about Beatrix Fairfax, but I figure these are true stories from real life, from kids just like me. I mean, Beatrice, she answers problems about my changing body or the strange noises that come from my parents' room late at night. Lots of things that otherwise no one will be square with me about. So I made it a point to pick these up. I was delighted in the content, and hopefully she'll answer my letter. Call me. And then here's Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, from Gold Key. And I have a bit of a confession to make. I never realized that Dr. Solar's face was meant to be green. I always thought that since the covers were painted, it was a little bit of, artistic interpretation. Just like, oh yeah, it's green light from over there or something like that. But no, turns out his face is green. Gold Key was awesome because not only do they give you that wonderful painting once on the cover, but then again on the back without all the text, so you can hang it on your wall. Oh, yeah. Speaking of hanging things on your wall, here's Doctor Strange Classics #1, and a very Ditko-esque cover from Al Milgrom and John Byrne. Because when I first saw this, I thought, wow, that is very Ditko-esque. I wonder where they got that. Well, it turns out it's an homage, but it's a good one. Here's a comic that I've had a number of times. It's the Fantastic Four Roast with an epic Fred Hembeck cover. This is another double-sider, so you get to see all your favorite Marvel characters. Now, unfortunately, Fred doesn't illustrate the whole thing, but it's been a while since I've read it. I'll report back to you, the viewer. Maybe we'll do this for a Comics for Breakfast. Would you like to see that? Let me know in the comment section below. That's our new drinking game. Every time I say, let me know in the comments section below, we drink. Oh, wait, I just said it. Oh, and then there's some Fantastic Four. It's Walt Simonson's run. This is the biggest one, even though there were more to come. And originally I had all of these and lost them. You know, they slipped through my fingers, much like the sands of time itself. But I figure they can be picked up fairly easily. Walt Simonson's run, while it's well regarded, still very affordable. You heard it here first, folks. And then, speaking of affordable, here's a beater copy, but nonetheless, a thrilling edition of The Invincible Iron Man. This is issue 118, and where Tony appears to be falling from a shield helicarrier. Holy cats, I wonder if he's going to get his armor on in time. And then here's another Iron Man. I made it a point to pick this up because I have a soft spot for those early Scott Lang issues. Not so crazy about what they did with him later, but it was pretty neat to see Ant-Man running around in the Marvel Universe at this point in time. Especially being there for Tony when he'd get knocked out by the Hulk, and Ant-Man needed to shrink down, go inside his armor, and fire things back up. Now, like I said, I'm a beater reader guy, but every once in a while I'll come across some really nice books. This is a very tidy copy of 134, and it's The Challenge. And I'm especially pleased because I've never read this one before. A lot of these books I have read before. But it's always nice to stumble across a book that gives you that first-time experience. And as my buddy at the comic book shop said, hey, it's the ass cover. And I mean, okay, sure, you know, you want to make a big deal about Spider-Woman's ass on a cover of a comic. Well, I'll raise you number 141 of The Invincible Iron Man. I mean, look at that thing. Tony, you know, he is well within his rights to show it off this way because, folks, it is the Caribbean Connection. Right there. There's no way we're going to leave that in. No, sir. And then here's another Iron Man. Another really nice one, in fact. This is number 159. When Strikes Diablo. And then here's Life with Archie. This is the first appearance of Pureheart the Powerful. And I got to admit, I'm not really crazy about the Archies as superheroes. But, I figured I couldn't pass it up. It was a key issue, after all. And then here's Machine Man, number 15. This is a definite improvement over my copy, which looks like it just came out of the dryer with the rest of my clothing. This is number 15. Like I said, it's the Thing and the Torch are whipped. Why do you say it like that? Like what? Like that. Like what? Whipped. Yeah, like that. Whipped. Now, there's only Machine Man and Dig, that groovy Ditko artwork. I know that I do. I mean, who else is going to draw one of these things on a Marvel comic? And then Speaking of Machine Man, I have this issue, but my copy didn't have a cover. And when I saw the cover, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to get in on this because talk about off model. Look how weird Alpha Flight is here. I'm sure that John Byrne laid an egg over this one. And oddly enough, this is a very Byrne-esque Machine Man. So leave it to Rick Buckler to defy all expectations. This is Machine Man number 18. And then here's one of those delightful Marvel reprints that we were just talking about. Marvel Heroes, Marvel Superheroes, number 74. Speaking of those Marvel reprints, here's Marvel Tales, number 155. Now, a lot of people don't realize that Marvel didn't reprint Spidey's adventures in sequential order in Marvel Tales. While Spidey was the headliner, not every issue is represented in that first run. That was corrected by Marvel, starting with issue 137, where they reprinted Amazing Fantasy number 15, and I believe the first couple stories from Amazing Spider-Man number 1, all in one big issue. And then after that, they were off to the races. And so this is a great way to get these books in floppy form if you want to read the stories sequentially. Oh, sure, they may have changed a few things. Aunt May's favorite TV show is now The Dukes of Hazzard, but we can forgive that. I mean, you know, we're all John Wopat fans at heart, aren't we? Here's Marvel Team Up. This is Spider-Man and Ms. Marvel versus the Super Skrull. How about that? It's Havoc aboard the Queen Elizabeth II. We were talking about Scott Lang Ant-Man earlier, and here's a nice late issue of ROM. This is number 58, long after Parker Brothers had ceased producing the figure, but Marvel, well, they were hanging in there, giving us these thrilling adventures. So I figured see what happens when these two titans team up. Why not? And now, oh, speaking of Titans, I swear that wasn't planned at all. This is the first appearance of Tara. Is she friend or foe? Well, initially, we thought she was our friend. We even invited her to join the Teen Titans. But then it turned out, well, she was a big stinky traitor. You know, what with the smoking and, you know, having sex with Slade and all. And we wrap things up with Underdog. Have no fear. Underdog is here. With this very appealing salmon-colored cover. Why not? Hey, it was Whitman. They made their own rules, didn't they, folks? All right, well, that would appear to be it. Thank you for joining us for this very special episode of Having a Drink with Mink. But there's so much more to come. Hard at work on Comics for Breakfast Season 4, as well as more Having a Drink with Mink and some secret projects that I can't tell you about right now. Not with Larry watching over there. But, hey, hope to see you next time. From all of us to all of you, cheers, and let's do it. Hey!